Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode, episode 83. We continue on with the Tour de France and our hunt for the green jersey and an epic battle against Wout van Aert, who is just so damn strong for the classification. Now, Van Aert leads the race. He is still in first place here at the just about halfway point, stage 10 of the race. And yeah, Van Aert has just been epically good. We've got a sprint stage ahead of us, but Peters, I would love to throw him in the break and pull 20 points and then, drop back for the finish, but he's inside the top 10. So he's going to be marked heavily. But that is not to say that everyone's going to be marked heavily. We're going to see what happens with Vandenberg. I'm going to try to get Vandenberg into the break if I can get him through the field. He's not at the front. And here is Bausch. Bausch, go ahead and protect Peters. There's Ponemar. Already 4 riders off the front and gap going out fairly quick. That could be the 4-man break, except for now we can see Bagioli is taking the reins at the front and pushing hard, pulling things back. That's good for us. As I'd still love to see if we can't get Vandenberg to attack and whether Wout van Aert will let him go or not, or we can just waste some Wout van Aert energy in this one by trying to chase him down. Okay, more riders on the attack. Ponemar finally reaches the front. Here's McKellar, still no sign of Vandenberg. He is a long ways back. Already a minute to the front riders, but that's just 4 guys up there. McKellar, nice +5 today. Peccioni was behind Vandenberg last time we checked. He's just not getting through the field, even though we're pushing even harder. Let's try to help him out a little bit here. Really? 84 and you're not there. Plenty of undulation at the start of this one is making it that much harder to try to get out there. There's 7 riders off the front, 3 of them being chased down pretty hard, so those front 4 are not opening the gap further. But it's quite clear that people don't want more than those front 4, but it's also quite clear that there's quite a few riders that still would like to escape, like those 2 who are making rapid gains right now, and meanwhile Vandenberg cannot get through. Come on, man. Okay, let's see what happens here. As we immediately get blocked. Ayuso. Okay, Piccioni. Sit. They do not seem interested in chasing him. They do not seem interested in chasing him. We might just succeed at this. He's already 40 seconds away. It's already 2:54 to those front guys. It's going to be a difficult catch. But Vandenberg makes some pretty rapid progress, and he's got a decent chance of catching those guys. Now he front 6. He's a minute and a half behind. Let's see if they have sat up a little bit. Gap's coming down. Minute 17. Using the descent here to make some gains on them. Minute 18. And Vandenberg, we're going to have to use his punchiness just a little bit because his mountain rating is pitiful. So closing the gap. Looks like he is going to succeed. Now there's a Cat 4 coming up in just a moment. So we're going to get there just as they are, going to start fighting it out for that one. So there's the downside on that factor. Bach's probably at the front now. Yes, he is. Okay, regain contact here. Come on, Vandenberg. Come on, there you go. Alright, now try to rest and recover for a bit. 4:48 is the gap, and Vandenberg is sitting on. Now, the intention for this is we are not thinking about a stage win unless the gap gets massive. It's over 5 minutes from now, so we are going to sit on. But we are not planning to contribute here. We're here for the 20 intermediate points. And then after that, we only hang on if they still have a chance. At the moment the Peloton starts to close in on these guys, Vandenberg, he's going to sit up and come back to the group. 2K to go to the top here. That means they're going to attack again here rather soon for this Cat 3 climb. And we have got to be ready to respond here. 700 meters, 600 meters. Keeping it closer this time. There we go. And it's a 6.5 minute advantage. Go ahead and get water. 171K. Let's go ahead and get water back here as well. And we only have the one guy that needs protecting. So that's all good. We can focus on Vandenberg for a while yet. The 7 minute advantage already starting to come down a little bit. But it's plenty of a cushion for, you know, the next 100 kilometers or so. Vandenberg, green bar, a little hurting though. Gap at 4.5. Again, that's easily going to be enough for the sprint point. It's 44K. And coming up on that next Cat 3 here shortly, as these guys kind of take it easy down that descent. Already they're pushing on, really? At 4.5K. They're not contributing. They're mad at Vandenberg for not contributing. There we go. Okay. We're in this thing. And now they attack anyway.
There's an attack in the group at the front.
Yeah, they're mad. They're mad at his non-cooperation, but not good. Not good. We've got to remain in contact with these guys, and that is an uncooperative breakaway group. We're not interested in the KOM, so what's your problem? What's your malfunction, guys? Okay, we'll contribute at a bare minimum. See, Grelier's not contributing either, so
the breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The Peloton has
back out to a 4.5 minute gap, so we're good on that part. Let's get water. Let's get water again back here. Let's also increase the effort, as we're not there, we're not present to see some sudden massive acceleration. Already down to 3.5 minutes, which means this breakaway is not going to win the stage today. Therefore, Vandenberg, once we claim the 20 points at the intermediate, we're going to drop back so we can get some team support to get to the finish, so he can still contribute to do the lead out for the finish, and hopefully get some points there as well. 320, 13K.
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway, given that the pack has increased its speed.
And now we got a number of guys not contributing. Now it's really just 4. Now 3. 3 minute advantage. Quite a bit of uphill on the way to this intermediate sprint. Speaking of on the way to this intermediate sprint, we can't forget that we need to try to get points for Peters as well, and they're only 3 minutes behind, and therefore we're going to have to do the dreaded pause and switch back and forth between the two and manage both groups. Hate doing that, but we're not going to have much of a choice. 5K to go, 7K to go. Here's the steepest part of this ascent. It's going to ease off as you come around the corner. There you go. You can see it. It's not flat, but it's down to 2.5, so it's technically flat rating. Okay, 2.8, 4.8, and these guys are coming over the top here in just a second. Let's get to right here. And who do we want to lead out? Peters. Don't want to use our main guy. Let's use Bach. Bach's nice and fresh. Bausch, go ahead and set up for it a bit. Peters is gonna follow. Bach's gonna get in control. You have 4.5K. I think a 90 is good. 2.4 here. 1.8. Vandenberg. Okay, Vandenberg sprint, but sorry, hate doing this, but we have no choice. Here is Bach. Bach. Let's go. These guys are already up the road, and Peters. Okay, Vandenberg crosses first. He can actually really set up because we want him to come all the way back to the Peloton. Bach needs to get to the right-hand edge. Peters has no red bar, really. 1.8. Bach sprinting. Peters has to sprint late because his red bar is low. And we will be 4th through. Good news though. Penhout, Groenewegen, Koij, Van Aert not contesting. Vandenberg has moved into the points classification lead by 2 points. And then it's 5 points behind Vandenberg to his teammate. Yes. Okay. Okay, we have caught up to Van Aert. For now. Bausch, what happened to you? You were literally up there, and all we did was say maintain position, and he finds himself distanced. Sure. Bach still at the front. Let's go ahead and get Piccioni now on protecting Peters. And Vandenberg still in the group. Somehow has not been dropped. There is one rider still in between. That's Grelier. He's been dropped. Okay, Bach is recovering. Bausch is still not in contact. We're still looking at 49 riders and 107 off the back.
We've got just 1/3 of the race left to run. Now's not the time to give up watching.
Now they're about to make contact. And now they have. So, Bausch. Let's get you up and say protect McKellar. McKellar looks pretty dang strong today, so we'll try to use him. Bach is pretty tired after that effort, but see, Peters is just about recovered. Vandenberg finally gets dropped on that little ascent with his minor effort and is back in the group. Okay, so now we will protect him. Bach, go ahead and do that since he's looking rather weak and don't think he's going to be much help later on. But now we have protection for Vandenberg. We also need to make sure we're keeping a front position though. Okay, last 5 from the break, and also just a 2-minute advantage. And we need water one final time. We want Piccioni to do that. No, he's protecting. Who's protecting McKellar? That's Bausch. Okay, wait for the top of the climb. Not quite the top, but you know, just about top. Bausch. 1K to go. Love doing it at 1K to go because you can drop back really quick on an ascent. But you're not so far back that you risk splits, and then as soon as things flatten out, you've got your water, and you're attacking to come back on the front. It makes the process go quite a bit faster. Sometimes it can take 25K to get water. This makes it take 5 to 10. Okay, we are entering a windy section. This was supposed to be a big new feature in PCM21, and then has not really been much of a thing since they introduced that last year. Vandenberg tired. He definitely doesn't have a ton of energy after being in the break today, but picked up those bonus points. Peters closed the gap as well, as Van Aert didn't go for it. He's more focused on that yellow jersey now because it's stage 10. He's at it for a while, and that's good for us. That is good for us that we are now. We came out of the rest day, and he's thinking about the jersey he's wearing, not about the other jersey he also has the lead in and probably was his target pre-race. Now 20K to go and no breakaway any longer. And that was pretty much it for the climbing. There's a tiny amount of undulation on this, I suppose you could say, plateau that we are up on top of right now, but it is going to drop back down for the finish. And at 10.8, it's time to get the show on the road. We're going to have to keep a close eye on Vandenberg. If he is doing too poorly, we'll drop him to the back, and McKellar will be the lead-out man today, and then Vandenberg will just hope to get to the finish line and get a decent amount of points. But Piccioni is... well, it's 8K to go. Let's get on to Bausch. Let's not save it for this little descent here. In fact, Bausch coming out of there, I want you to kind of sprint, really push the pace. 5.4. You see it's not hurting these guys. Finally, Bausch, right? That was like a full K of sprinting, and it didn't actually do anything to the trailing guys, and now we're at 3.5, so... do I want to get on to Bach? No. Let's continue to sprint with a non-sprinter, Ponamar. It's going to turn into a full sprint here at the 3K mark. And you're seeing some guys attack, and now it's 2.4. Let's go ahead and get on with Bach, because it's going to be fairly technical. There's a big left-right here. Bach gets out there. McKellar. What's going on with you? Okay. Okay, so McKellar, well, just go ahead and sprint for yourself. But Vandenberg, 1.4. Okay, 1K. This is not what we wanted. We're going to run out of red bar before the end. McKellar was supposed to be part of this thing and wasn't. Peters is not going to have a perfect lead in. McKellar ends up with his +5 going woo-hoo-hoo, and he gets third. Peters gets 6th. Koij, Gazzoli, McKellar, Penhote. Peters gets 6th. Van Aert is 8th, so we gain even further points on him. That means we should be at the front. Vandenberg only 20th, so he's not going to pick up additional points. He was definitely feeling it after the efforts earlier, but no idea what happened with McKellar. I'm actually glad that they weren't still following him. McKellar had a huge gap between him and Bach, and he should have been right on his wheel, and then they should have been following McKellar. And then McKellar ends up, through that pack, getting third in the sprint. Strange. Very strange. And then, Vandenberg goes for that lead out on Peters, and then Peters ends up out of red bar. They were both hurting, they were both struggling, and McKellar was not feeling a thing. And then able to full sprint towards the end. Strange stage. So here on this 10th stage, Koij picks up the most points, but Vandenberg gets 20, McKellar gets 20, Peters gets 19 for today. And most importantly, the main guy we're up against, Van Aert, gets just 11. So we get nearly 10 points on him kind of across the board. And that does put Peters into the green jersey proper, not just to borrow it and wear it for a day. He has a 1-point lead over Wout Van Aert after 10 stages. Vandenberg is right there as well. Penhote, who picked up a lot of 26, finds himself awfully close as well. He's just 20 points down. It's looking like a 4-horse race with Koij and Jakobsen certainly in the game. They're not out of the game at this stage, but they are certainly a ways back, nearly 80 points down. Stage 11 coming up on the intermediate sprint. I was trying to get Vandenberg in the breakaway again for today, but unfortunately the field wasn't having any of it. The 4 guys that had already escaped off the front were what they were committed to having, as we are now 2K from the intermediate sprint here. So Bausch giving us a lead out here now, 1.8K starting his sprint. Now 1.2, so Vandenberg going for it. I don't see Wout Van Aert going for it, so this is a good thing for us. 600 meters. Peters, go ahead and get involved in as well. And that is 2nd and 3rd through there, which is technically 6th and 7th. That'll be worth some points. Koij gets the most, only 1 point more than Vandenberg, so that's really not a concern for us. And that is a good intermediate. While Van Aert was at the very, very back of that group, I don't think he got any points. He did not. He still sits on 185. Vandenberg now also sits on 185, and Peters has an 8-point lead after that intermediate sprint. Getting pretty late in the stage, we still have not caught the break, though we are about to, and the chase has been hard. We've been really pushing, and there's a little bit of undulation through here that has seen the Peloton split as we finally bring them back in. There's 89 in the Peloton, and it looks like we are not setting up now as we are going over the top of that little hill, and it's time to form up. 12K to go. I do have 3 very much weaker riders today, unfortunately. Bach looking the weakest, so we're going to send him out first. Let's go ahead and gel up those first 2. And have Bach going forward. His position's not good, so we want to make sure that we start by going hard with Bach and not see all these guys dropping back. But those 2 leaders are behind it, so it's okay that you had a couple guys going backwards, but let's see if we can get everyone in position and forward sooner rather than later. Bach finds some space. Let's help the others. Bach, let's go ahead and back off a little bit because this is going to really hurt Red Bar of your teammates as they come forward to try to join you. Piccioni, you can see there's a little gap here in the field that we are just about finding here as Piccioni now drags it forward. There's Bausch, there's McKellar. And there we go. We've just about got everybody to the front finally with 6.7K. And now we do want to start pushing full gas the rest of the way here. 99 from here on out as we go under this bridge. And then you come right back up the other side. And that's going to be Ponemar now at a 99. He's got negatives. He's usually fairly punchy, but not under these circumstances. Field at 88. As Ponemar is going to do the hill, and then that's it. Piccioni's going to take over. It's good to have your 2 strongest climbers at the front of this as you go over the top. 4K, they take the brunt of the action, and everybody else kind of uses Slipstream to get in there and still be part of it. Forgot to do the gel on those guys at 5.5K or so, but with 3K to go, Bausch needs to start sprinting. 2.1. McKellar starting his sprint just inside 2. You can see he's got enough pace that he is taking it out of his trailing teammates, but with 600 meters to go, they are taking over. And we've split the field now. 500 meters. Main contender is Jakobsen. Jakobsen's up there in points. Van Aert's in a good position too. Peters, come on, buddy. Is it going to be second? Is it going to be second? Oh, he got the win. He got the win. We actually won a throw to the line. Peters wins the stage. A massive 50 points. Delay gets second. Van Aert gets third. So we actually didn't gain a ton on him. And Jakobsen went too early. He fades. He gets fourth. Vandenberg with the lead out gets fifth. That's good points for him as well. Koish, Penho, who were starting to ease their way into the classification, scored far less than us today and will slip back and open that gap a bit further. Upcoming, we'll check on the points in a second, but upcoming is 4 stages that aren't going to have a lot of points. We have 3 mountain stages and a time trial in the next 4 stages of this tour. So things are starting to change in terms of profile for the second half of this Tour de France. And a lot of the sprint stages, the majority, vast majority, are now behind us. There's going to be a lot fewer opportunities to score points. So if you are over 100 points behind at this point, you are probably out of it, you would venture to say. 59 points on today's stage. Delay, the only other one who even gains over Vandenberg, who gets 26, third best. Jakobsen gets 24, Koish, Van Aert gets 22. So Vandenberg gains 4 points over him, but a massive gain for Peters with a 37-point gain. That was unexpected. That was really unexpected, but I think something we are seeing happening right now is that Van Aert's been in that jersey for a while, And the team is starting to look at that yellow jersey and go, let's hang on to it as long as we can. Now, of course, 3 mountain stages in the next 4 means he's not going to have the race lead after that. And Peters is going to be long gone from the top 10 as well in the coming stages. So neither one of them are going to be focusing on yellow jersey situations any longer. Peters, of course, hasn't been really focused on it at all, but being in the top 10, if he were to attack, Van Aert would chase him. Now, in the future, we're looking at green jersey scenarios, and maybe he tries to go on the break as well, or he tries to support a team leader because it's UAE and they could be in the GC hunt. Speaking of, let's go back to the GC hunt real quick. We'll look at that green jersey briefly. But Van Aert has a minute's lead. Brenner's up there. Pogacar's up there. But what does UAE have? Oh gosh, he is the leader. So once he fades away, they're probably just going to change focus to green jersey, you would think. Look at 5 minutes to McKellar. Peters at 1:48. That's surprising, but we're going to lose major time in the mountain with 71 mountain rating. We are not going to be around in the top of the standings. That is going to clearly shift, but we're not going to drop rapidly. Not the first stage, but after 3 of them and a time trial, that should put us out of the top 20 by that point. Okay, green jersey. With UAE not having another team leader, though, it means I think he very well could mark Peters. If Peters attacks to go for an intermediate sprint point, Van Aert very well could go with him. But the fantastic news, the thing that worried me before, was we were going to have a deficit that we needed to cover off with the intermediate sprints. Now we have the opposite. We have a lead. He's the one who needs to cover it off, and I'd happily go into those breakaways. But at the same time, we're going to have to keep a close eye on Van Aert. That much is certain. Well, anyway, here we are, 2:43. And like I said, even though we're just past the halfway point, don't expect another 243 points in the second half of the race for anyone. Don't expect another 150 points for anyone in the second half of the race. Reason being, most of the sprints are now behind us. Sprints are worth 50 points. Sprinters are going to win sprints. Sprinters are going to win intermediate sprints. Punchy mountain stages with fewer points available, 20 or 30 points, are going to be won by climbers or breakaway riders. Van Aert's not going to be winning a lot of stages the rest of the way, though he is absolutely 100% capable in real life, should be winning lots of stages. I think his ratings are really poor compared to what they should be. 82 time trial, 81 cobble, 81 flat. I mean, a few of the numbers are fantastic, but his climbing numbers to me are not representative of just how good this guy is. To me, Van Aert is the most well-rounded rider in the Peloton today. He is the guy capable of doing the most. He's the best rider out there. Not in every discipline. Pogacar is clearly a better climber than Van Aert is, but not by much. If Van Aert wanted to go for GC, if that was his focus, I think he could. But he's got 2 teammates in real life that are very capable GC guys, and therefore he's got an alternative focus. He's used it a different way. But if they wanted him, if those 3 entered the Tour de France together, and in stage 3 and stage 5, his team leaders, Roglic, Vingegaard, go down with injuries, and the team suddenly points to Van Aert and goes, look, that prologue at the start, you won it. You have the yellow jersey. We had a couple punchy stages, a couple sprint stages. You've won 2 stages already, and our team leaders just left. You're our guy. And then by stage 11, and we've been through all these punchy stages, he would obviously still be in the lead, like he is here in this version. The difference in the scenario being those 2 team leaders aren't there anymore, and the team's looking at Van Aert going, no. We're not looking at green jersey. We came here. It's Jumbo-Visma, not UAE, right? We're talking real life here. It's Jumbo-Visma. We came to win the Tour de France. We believe you are capable. We're riding for you. Hang on in the mountains. I can still see him possibly coming away with a Tour victory. Possibly. Now, Pogacar is going to be difficult to beat. UAE is strong. A couple of guys are going to be difficult to beat. Maybe he ends up getting third. I'm not saying he's world class as a climber, but is he capable? Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I'd say at the very least he's a 78, 79 mountain. And, an 80 hills rating. He's not a perfect climber. He's not the elite top class. But man, oh man, is he close to it. I think the ratings here are just pitiful. But, again, you make him so good, he's just going to win. That's all he does, right? No matter what. Anyway, Peters. Okay, 243 points. Really healthy advantage at the just past halfway point. Unexpected, too, because I really thought over those coming couple of stages they were going to be losing ground. But I do think that UAE started to look around and go, gosh, there's nobody here, right? UAE has no one near the top. Quinn Simmons is 538. Simmons is a puncher. He's not a mountain guy. So UAE does not have that normal team leader. Crashed out, maybe. I know a couple guys have. I don't know what has happened with UAE, but I think Van Aert has become a GC guy, even if ratings-wise he's not going to win that GC, and therefore that green jersey has been less important. He's still made little itty-bitty efforts to pick up a few points, but he's lost a lot of ground in the last few stages, which is good for us, really good for us. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.